Hello?
Hey, girl.
You guys will not believe this.
No, I don't want to touch on.
I told you guys I'd fall in love fast.
The look on your face, you're like, ooh.
Very healthy to have female friendships.
And completely
Yeah, I do want to get married
ghost
again.
me
And I
on
love
this
that.
effing
So
fight
finding
of
that
us
balance
still
of,
desire
I
to
think
get married.
super
We're like, get rid of
having
toxic
Wasn't
people
ever
in
really in
relationship.
pain and part of me.
Welcome back.
It's a three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star.
So I was talking to a girlfriend the other day, and she has been like dating this guy for probably, I want to say, like at least a couple months.
Okay.
And she's like, I'm finding more and more things we're incompatible with.
Ooh.
And one of the things was like, she's like, well, we just have like a lot of different beliefs in certain things. And she brought up like politics, and she's like, usually I ask that on like the first date. But the way they started dating, like they didn't go on like a real first date. They just started hanging out because a whole bunch of stuff like happened just in his life. And so she was like, oh, it's okay. Like we could wait to go on the date, you know? So she never really had that first date. So I think she would have probably asked the question like date one, but it just never happened. So,
Right.
so now she's like, I usually ask that question on date one, and we're not like on the same page with that kind of stuff. So it brought up this idea of like, what things do you feel like you need to know date one?
I got a little bit.
Date one?
Or how early on are you asking those questions like about politics or about like your beliefs and your like things like that? Like how early on do you want to know that information?
Date one, I want to know, are you looking for a serious relationship? I want to know, do you want to be married? Do you want to have kids?
Yes.
That's what I want to know. Those are like right away, I need to know those things. And to make sure that we're aligning with that, because I'm not going to talk to you if you don't want a serious relationship and if you don't want to get married and if you don't want kids. That's just a no. So that for me is just base. Like I would have that in like the first couple conversations.
Hell yeah.
So ideally, I would like to know before we actually went on a date. Because I've noticed for me, like, talking to the guys that I was talking to before when I was, like, venturing out a little bit on dating, I liked being able to talk with them through... Some people will say they don't like texting and they are more traditional and they want to be on the phone. I like texting. I just think it's comfortable. You can just message when you want. You can think about your response. For me, I just feel like it's easy. It's comfortable. And so I like to have multiple conversations for a while before we even go out on a date. Because I'm not trying to waste my time if we're not compatible on certain things. And to me, I'm like, going on a date is a lot of energy for me. It is a lot. It is a lot for me.
It is a lot, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like, it is a lot. So I would like to know that we're at least compatible on those main things and then get that out of the way. And then when I see you on the first date, now it's like, okay, do we have chemistry? Do we have a connection? Do I think you're attractive? Do you think I'm attractive? That kind of vibe. So that's usually how I typically would date. Yeah. So politics, though, I will say that is never a conversation I've had when like dating somebody. I've never had that conversation. But I will tell you, it is a trigger for me, the politics, because with my ex, we never talked about politics, and then when it came to voting time, he just randomly asked me one day who I voted for, and I told him, and he berated me. It was World War III, like with him. Not with me. I didn't say anything back. I just let him just go off. But of course, not everybody's gonna be like that and have that strong of a response, but there are guys that are going to. So like, for example, for your girlfriend, like if she feels really strong about her side or vice versa, then that's just not gonna work, you know. And that was conversations that I had with him. But first, like after that happened, we're just like, okay, he's like, we're just not compatible because, you know, this and this and this, and this is my livelihood, this is my family, this is, and I'm like, I get it. Like, I understand. Like, once he was explaining everything, I'm like, I get it. And I'm sorry, I'm not in that position, so I can't really relate, but you telling me I understand. And, you know, I was telling him, I'm like, I would never do anything to hurt you. I didn't deliberately vote this way to hurt you and to hurt your family and all of this, you know? I'm like, And I told him, I'm like, honestly, like 99% of the people that I'm around, work included, voted the same way I did. I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, there wasn't a single person that I had crossed paths with that felt so passionate about the other side. So I'm like, me listening to you and your viewpoints are the first that I've heard, like, are this passionate from this side. So to me, that it just never happened. And when I think back to all my previous relationships, we never talked about who we were voting for. Like, that just wasn't a thing. But I know it's just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes,
so it is a huge topic. But I will also say, like, the last couple of guys that I talked to all voted the same way I did. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I know that it can be a deal breaker. And the last couple of guys, it wasn't a conversation because I already knew. Like, one guy told me right away, well, this is who I voted for and these are my beliefs. And I was like, okay. And I don't care whether we voted for the same person or not. That's not a big deal to me. That's not a deal breaker to me. Unless you're going to be like my ex and rub it in my face and then treat me like that, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's not a deal breaker to me.
So that's not something you would want to know first date.
I think I just out of my trauma, I want to know how you're voting, because now to me, I feel like if I talk to a guy and who didn't vote the way I voted, I fear that they're gonna act like how he acted, because that's all I know. Right. So, and all my other guys that I've talked to had, like I said, one told me right away. We didn't even ask; he had just mentioned, and then another one had talked about something, and I could tell, okay, well, now just by what you said, now I know who you voted for. And then the last guy, I could just tell, like, on his Instagram page.
Oh,
you know?
damn.
Well, just because I looked at his followers.
Oh.
Because I want to see, like, who they're following, and then
Yeah.
we're following, like, the similar people. So I was like, okay, so I knew that those were his beliefs. So that was a way of me doing it without having to, like, ask.
Okay.
Because, like I said, to me,
Smart.
I'm still triggered.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm like, so if I could find out right off the
really
bat and not
smart.
even have to talk to you about it and know that we're going to be okay, then that's fine. So
Yeah. Because I think it does matter how they react to the stance. Like, if they can have a conversation about it with you, and, like, you can have completely different ideas, you know, and it could be okay. You
Yeah.
can get along, you can be compatible.
Exactly.
But if it's, like, absolutely not, like, they're shaming you for that, then, yeah, it's not gonna,
yeah, it's not going to work out.
it's not gonna work out. Yeah.
Do you know, is your girlfriend, like, is that kind of their situation, or she's just kind of...
I don't think the relationship is, like, fully serious to her in general.
Okay.
You know, I think that she's going to find her way out
Okay.
either way, but
But it
you
wasn't
know,
dependent on who he
I think
voted
it
for,
would have
or-
been. I think it would have been at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like,
Yeah, I think it
some
would have been.
people
at
it
the
is really
beginning.
important, and it is a deal breaker. So you
Yeah.
just never know.
Exactly. I think it varies person to person too, because like someone like me, or I think like you, or probably you too, Britt. I feel like we're all just kind of like, we have our beliefs, but we're open to listening to
Exactly.
others as well.
And don't judge the other person.
Exactly. And I think so many people these days are like, well, it's this way or no way. It's like, well, I don't vibe with that.
Yeah.
But definitely with the marriage thing, because I obviously haven't been dating since I was in my 20s, but I got burned from a guy who I learned a year in didn't want kids or marriage again, which is understandable because he'd been divorced. So that's after that experience, I was like, okay, date number one. Do you want to get, I mean, for me, I don't know, but at least I want an option.
Yeah.
So those things getting older, I was like, okay, I need to start asking. But
I feel like date number
politics-
one, kids, real serious relationship, that kind of thing.
Yeah, date number one. I'm just like put it all out here because I don't remember ever really like the guys I dated in the past. I don't really like. I don't think we talked a whole lot before going out, or maybe we were friends, but like it wasn't like deep conversations, you know. So
Right.
But I loved dating back in the day. But again, I was at a different time. I was younger. You guys make it sound so exhausting now, but I'm like, I thought it was so fun. I was looking forward to free dinners and drinks.
Yeah.
I notice, I feel like I kind of wish that I didn't have to go through this stage so late in life, because I do think like I could be having so much fun, and I know like I am going to be having fun once I'm dating, but it's just nice to think back like when you would be more careless, you know, and more free, and so I do wish, I'm like, that I wish I was like that. But in reality, I don't wish I was like that. Back in the day when we were younger, you know, I think it just be more of like a carefree, careless vibe. And now it's like, well, no, like now it's like we have all these red flags, we have all these requirements,
and experiences you've already been through,
right?
And places we really want to go,
right? And it's like you don't want to be sharing your energy with all these people, and then so it's like I do think I'm like, man, I wish I was just younger and just didn't care, and I could just like do what I want and not be so hard on myself about it. But I'm obviously grateful to be in this place because I don't want to be running careless. I feel like you're not gonna, in my opinion, you know, find your person like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
another thought to the same thing, like with politics, is like even religion would be one. Like I feel it is something that needs to be talked about in the beginning. It's like,
yes.
How do you want to raise, you know, our future children or your future children? It doesn't have to be ours, whatever. Just to get an idea, like, do you want to raise them going to church every Sunday? Do you want to raise them under this religion or that religion? And do those conflict?
Yes. Yeah, religion is important. And now that you bring that up, that is one of the first things. I don't necessarily ask about it. I just think it comes out. I think if I'm thinking about the past few guys that I had talked to, we already were talking about God like on the first conversation, maybe the second one. So I've never had to really ask about that, but that is definitely something important to me. Like I definitely want to be in a relationship with someone that also has a relationship with God. Like that's a deal. That would be a deal breaker for me if they didn't. So yeah, religion is up there with politics for sure. Can and definitely be a deal breaker.
I agree. And I feel like with religion specifically, it comes out a little bit more naturally as people are starting to get to know each other because you're already in your practice. So when you meet someone, they're in a practice and then you guys are getting to know each other and you're like, oh, by the way, I'm going to church, or oh, by the way, I'm going to do my meditation, or however it is you're communicating, like call you on the way, or you know, what church do you go to, and things like that. I think it kind of like comes up so you can start to see like, oh, well, you know, do we have similar beliefs? And I think like for Paul and I'm like, as you guys are talking, I'm trying to remember, I don't think we ever really had that conversation, but I already knew going in he was Mormon, and I'm not Mormon.
Right.
But then it didn't bother me because I'm Christian, but I don't know. I just never... I think maybe Mormon and Christians are very similar.
I was going to say...
That's what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say... That's definitely more similar. And Paul's not... to say this, but he's Mormon, but he's not like... practicing it.
He's no longer practicing it.
So I think that would be, you know, when we look at Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and how those husbands are, and some of them.
You are so right about that. That it would have been a whole different
experience.
Because I will say, when we were in Corona, California for a couple years, we were wanting to get back into church, and that was really the first time that we were like, well, should we go to my Baptist church, or should we go to... Because I met a pastor at my LA Fitness gym, and he was like, come to church. So I took Paul, and he's been to a Baptist church before, but then he was like, but then can we also go to my church? So that was my first experience ever in a Mormon church, and I was like, hey, this is different.
Yeah.
So it's funny because you guys are talking about when you date, you're talking about all these things, but I think Paul and I just kind of like glossed over that. So now being married and like experiencing it together is hilarious to me.
Well, I will say up until the last few years of me being single and dating, I never had any of these and again, I think it's just with maturity and then us being married and divorced, it's like we have already been through that, and now we know like the right and wrongs, what to do, what not to do, make sure we talk about this to not waste our time, and so now we're more aware of it. But before, like my exes, I never did any of those conversations, but clearly none of those worked out.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Yeah, I've had like 2 experiences now. One with religion, which I'm not religious, but I dated someone who was Mormon. And my thought was like, is this an issue? It wasn't really like he didn't ever bring it up. He knew I wasn't, but it was more of like a concern to me, like, is it an issue that I'm not? I don't go to church. I don't plan on going to church with you, like, you know, but I'll support whatever you want to do. Again, like I'm going to have a normal conversation with you. You can believe and practice whatever you want to do, but you're not going to like get into this relationship and think that you're going to
convert you.
convert me.
Yes.
You know, happy to listen, but you know,
Yeah.
and then I am dating someone who it just kind of came up in conversation about politics. I think he said something along the lines of like he was going to bring something up, and he's like, by the way, like I don't know if this bothers you, but I'm, I vote this way, and in order to tell me what he had to tell me, and I was like, well, like it doesn't really bother me. And
So are you
because
guys voting separate?
we probably would vote
Okay.
separately, yeah. But I mean, it was like we can have a conversation about it. It was a
Right.
mature conversation about the decisions and like our thoughts on it. And we were just like, okay, cool. Like, and then it's never an issue after that.
And it wouldn't bother you that he votes that way, and vice versa. It doesn't bother him that you
Right.
see differently.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
can make it work in having different beliefs, and I think that's what so much of the world is like missing right now. It's like, you gotta be on my side, right? You gotta be on my side. I'm like, oh my god,
Exactly.
it's really cool.
Yeah. So it is an interesting space to be in dating, but I don't think I think about it a ton because those specific
No.
things don't bother me.
Right.
So when I get into that, I'm not like, oh, I need to know these things because realistically, they don't bother me because I know how I'm going to react. Even if they reacted in a negative way, I know that I would be like, okay, that's you, and I'm going to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so on that front, I feel just like very confident in like knowing my choices and knowing how I communicate those things to somebody else.
Yeah.
So I think that really does matter. But I do think I'd like to know earlier on how they react.
Yeah.
So I do want it to come up in conversation to some degree in the beginning, not halfway through, 6 months later, they're like, by the way, we're baptizing our child. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, are we? It's like, I don't recall us having that conversation. So, yeah, I think earlier on the better, but am I going to bring it up like right off the bat? I don't know. I don't think so.
This reminds me of that show. You turned me on to it with Kristen Bell.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Why do we always
Is
forget
this
what it's
the
called?
same? I was gonna say, is this the
always
same
forget.
show
Yes.
that you guys talk about every time, and you can never remember the effing name?
We never.
I wish so bad that I remember the name so I could be like, it's this. I don't even watch it, but I just remember from how many times you talked about
Kristen
it.
Bell, Adam Brody.
Yes.
Something us, right?
He's not.
No?
No, he's not. Nobody wants this.
Or nobody wants this. Okay, I was thinking nobody wants us.
You've
this.
got to
Yes.
watch it. It's so
Okay.
good because it's very similar to like she is not religion, but he is Jewish, and then how their relationship comes together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did they make it work? Like or is it?
It's based on a real couple, but I won't.
Oh.
ruin
Yeah,
it for
we
you.
won't say.
Oh,
Watch the show.
okay.
I like the show. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny that when that show, like second season, I was dating the Mormon guy. I was like, this is us.
Oh.
Was he trying
Not
to get
really.
you to convert?
No. Just like,
Oh my.
I wasn't trying to get me to convert. I just thought it was funny. I was like,
Was he trying to get you to convert?
I really liked him from we worked together at Albertsons, and he was like, I wanted to take him to like a winter formal or something, and he went. And then at the end, he was like, "You're really great, but you're not Mormon, so this isn't going anywhere." And I was like, "Noted."
So what was the
Fine.
point of all that
It
then?
was the school. I grew up in Gilbert, like probably I'd say 98%. No, I'm kidding, but it's really
No, it's
high.
high.
Yeah.
It's a high Mormon population. So I was like, and he wasn't the first boy to tell me that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think too, like when I ask those questions, I can already kind of get the vibe of if it actually bothers them. Like,
Yes.
if I'm like, does it bother you that I'm not Mormon or that I don't go to church or that I do, like, I can, and they'll be like, no, and then I'm like, it will. I can feel it.
Yes.
I can tell this
Yeah,
is going to
you
bother
know.
you. At some point, it's going to create a conflict. That, like, I don't want to go with you to church or, you're going to try to convince me. It's the same thing, like,
It's not gonna work.
I highly recommend nobody be with someone who's like, I don't want kids, thinking
yeah,
that,
we've talked about this.
yeah, thinking that they'll change their mind.
Yeah.
I'll convince them. No, do not waste your time. Like, they said they don't want kids. even if 5 years later they meet someone and they have kids,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want kids with you.
Yeah, 'cause they said it.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
so I highly recommend that for sure. But
Yes, that is a big one
yeah.
for sure.
Also, just since we're on the topic of dating, real quick, an interesting thing I think is there is some different sided like opinions on this. So I want your guys' opinion. When someone asks you, what are you looking for? Do you tell them what you're looking for, or do you just say, I'm just exploring my options, or like something more bland? And I'll tell you why after.
I would tell them what I'm looking for.
Okay.
What does that mean? Like, what are you looking for? What do you mean?
Like, I want a man that does this. I want this in a relationship, you know.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm looking for a serious relationship.
Okay.
I'm
gotcha.
looking for someone to marry. I'm dating to marry. I tell them that. I'm dating to marry. I'm very serious. I'm not fucking around. I want to have a baby.
Yes.
You know, I tell them all these things, like,
Good for you.
and I'm on the path to getting those. So either hop on the train or hop off.
Vision.
Because these are the things. So and then another important thing for me too, and then on top of like the relationship with God and all that, is I tell them what type of relationship I want to have. I tell them like I want a traditional relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be the man of the house and I will be the woman of the house. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, guys.
and most of that does align with the Bible. So it's easy for us to get those conversations, and that's another reason why it's so important for me. If they have a relationship with God, they already understand all that and the role that I'm asking for. So that's why it's like, okay, boom, we don't even need to go down that path because we both already align on that stuff.
I love that. That is such a clear path for you too, girl.
Thanks, girl.
Well, I mean, back in the day, I think I would just say like, as long as you have a job, we'll see what happens. I wasn't really like too picky. But again, I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is like, I follow dating experts. I follow people who do like relationship coaching, all those kinds of things. I have a girlfriend who does relationship coaching as well and dating coaching. And there is some conflicting information. I feel like the more information I get is not to, because of the what were we calling it? The interview or whatever? The facade that someone could put up.
Gotcha.
So if you're like, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I
Representative.
want,
They might try to
they will shift.
pretend to be that.
Yeah.
Oh,
they will
yeah,
pretend to be
100%.
that to get you, you know,
Ah,
to get
to
you,
reel
and
you
then
in.
their mask falls off, and then but now you're already like in it, right? As opposed to just letting them show up as they are and making a
See if
decision
they
as who they are. Yeah, which is like where I am in dating of like, yeah, I used to be like, this is what I want, and then now I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna see if you have what I want and see how it goes. Now the caveat to that I think is that some people do want to rise to the occasion. Like they do want to meet you there. Maybe they just don't know how, or they don't know that they aren't there yet. So I feel like there's a gentle way to like incorporate those things of like, you know, this is what I see my future as. I'm not telling you what to do. Like I'm not using those words, you know what I mean? But like showing them like with your boundaries and with your goals and your ambitions, like this is what I'm looking for, without really saying it, so they can rise to the occasion or not.
Yes. I like that.
Which I think reduces like resentment in the future, or you know, changing for the wrong reasons and those kinds of things, and really finding your person. I think the basic things of like, I want a relationship, I want kids, I want to get married, I feel like that's needs to be known, but I don't think that they need to know like, I'm looking for this kind of love, or like I want flowers, you know, like I don't think that they need to know like
like
those
a little
things.
characteristic.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna see how you treat me all on your own,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's who you really are.
absolutely.
It's a fun ride. And I know a couple of my other girlfriends that have been in like long-term relationships have been able to like grow together. And you know how people change sometimes, obviously everyone changes along the way. It's really interesting to see like some of them get closer, or some of them like kind of break apart before they, you know, get married. Or so yeah, it's just so many different ways.
Yes.
I say what my comedian, I always talk about, Heather McDonald, she's always like, every relationship and every marriage is just so different.
It really is.
That, it's interesting. That's why it's so interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It is interesting. I love that we get to have like 3 different like conversations about it every time too. Like we all have a little bit of something different, but also the same in a way. Like we all have like the same like morals and like you know what we're willing to put up with and not willing to put up with.
Job, because I did date a homeless guy once. So that was like that.
What in the world?
Okay, no
A
more.
homeless man?
Well, originally he shared an apartment with like 5 guys in a 2-bedroom.
Oh.
And then he got kicked out of that, so he didn't have anywhere to live. So I think he was like couch
So he was
surfing.
staying with you, boo? Hopping on your couch?
That was the summer of my freshman year after college, so not with me. I don't know where he was sleeping. But once I went back to school, he was messaging me. I was like, this isn't working.
Yeah, you're like, maybe not.
Then I moved on to frat boys. We've gone through stages.
Totally normal. Totally normal.
Eating all night, girls.
I cannot with you. How did I just find out you dated a homeless man? I can't. Always full of surprises over there.
You guys are bringing all these memories back. Yeah.
Fun topic. Thanks, Britt. That was so good. Love that.
Amazing. What are conversations you're having early on that are deal breakers to know the information of? We want to know. Is it politics? Is it religion? Is it babies? No babies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are
Big
you not
topics.
telling them and you're just letting them show you and see if you guys connect? We want to hear it all.
What works for you, babes? We did it.